It's funny how people think they know everything about you based on what they see for 5 seconds. My dad, most people write him off the moment they see the wheelchair. He's not flashy, doesn't talk much, wears the same brown jacket he's had for 10 years, patched up at the elbows. But behind those quiet eyes and slow movements is a man who worked his entire life, built something from scratch, and now owns the entire subdivision where this story took place. It all started on a quiet Saturday morning. The sky was clear, the kind of early summer warmth that makes you feel like things are going to be okay. I was wheeling Dad out to our van for his physical therapy appointment. He had a stroke a few years ago and lost partial use of his legs. Therapy helps, but it's slow going. The regular parking spot in front of our home was being repaved, so we parked near the model house at the front of the community. It's not like it was far, just a few steps if he could walk. But since he couldn't, we needed that space. The van has a ramp, and loading him in safely takes time. I had just opened the back hatch when I heard the high-pitched barking voice coming from behind us. "Excuse me, you can't park there." I turned around. There she was, mid-50s, sunglasses that covered half her face, blonde bobbed hair so stiff it could stop bullets, and a matching hot pink velour tracksuit that probably hadn't been fashionable since 2003. She had a tiny designer dog under one arm and a phone in the other, like she was ready to film us for some viral public disturbance video. "This is private property," she said, pointing at the van like it was a flaming dumpster. "I don't care what kind of pass you have, this is reserved for official guests only. You need to move." I took a breath and tried to keep my voice steady. "Our usual spot is being paved. My dad has a therapy appointment in 15 minutes. Will only be a few minutes." Her eyes flicked to the wheelchair. "That doesn't give you the right to break the rules. We all have to follow them. That's what keeps this neighborhood looking decent." I could already feel the blood rising in my ears. Dad kept his head down, saying nothing. His hands were folded in his lap, but I noticed how tightly he was gripping the armrests of the chair. Karen, or whatever her real name was, clearly didn't recognize him. Or if she did, she didn't care. "I'm calling the HOA," she said, "and the police if I have to. I've lived here for 5 years, and people like you just keep lowering the standards." "People like us?" I asked, my voice sharper than I intended. "You know what I mean," she snapped. "Always asking for special treatment, always making exceptions." At that point, I was shaking. I looked at Dad, waiting for him to give me the nod to just leave or respond. But instead, he slowly looked up at her, calm, measured. "Ma'am," he said, his voice deep but even. "I suggest you stop talking." She scoffed. "Oh, really? Or what? Well, what are you going to do? Roll into me. This is my neighborhood. I pay for the upkeep of this street. I help enforce the rules." He let out a breath and looked at her, not angry, not smug, just tired. "Actually," he said, "this is my neighborhood." She blinked. "What?" "I own it." Karen actually laughed, like bent over, hand on hip laughed. "Yeah, okay. You own the neighborhood." "Sure, and I'm the Queen of England." I opened the glove box and pulled out the file folder we kept in the van. Inside were copies of the deeds, every single one for the subdivision. Years ago, after a series of smart investments and a bit of luck, my dad bought up most of the land around this area. Then he started developing, slowly. Over time, he partnered with a construction firm and built the homes. He never advertised it. He lived modestly in one of the first homes built, paid it off in cash, kept his name quiet so residents wouldn't treat him differently. I handed her the folder. "Take a look," I said. She snatched it like she expected to find Monopoly money inside. Her face changed. Her whole posture changed. She started flipping through the pages like she thought maybe they were fake, or she had misunderstood. Page after page of legal documents with my dad's name on them. Signature after signature. "I don't understand," she murmured. "You're the owner of all these homes?" Dad gave a slow nod. "Every house on this street, and the next one, and a cul-de-sac. I built this neighborhood 20 years ago." She was stunned into silence. I could see the moment it really hit her, the way her face turned pale, the way her grip tightened on the little dog, that had finally stopped yapping. She opened her mouth to speak, but couldn't form words. Her brain was still trying to process the fact that the man she had just screamed at, insulted, belittled, he wasn't just another neighbor. He was the asterisk neighbor, the one who signed the contracts, the one who set the rent, the one who, if he chose to, could evict her with a single phone call. Dad turned away, quietly instructing me to finish getting him into the van. As I lowered the ramp and rolled him up, I could still feel Karen's eyes on us. She didn't say another word, not sorry, not I didn't know, nothing. Just stood there like a statue while her carefully manicured life cracked down. The middle, when I finally shut the door and climbed into the driver's seat, I looked at Dad. You okay? He smiled, faintly. I've been screamed at by generals and senators, he said. She wasn't even top 10, and just like that, we drove away, leaving Karen with her shock, her silence, and her thick folder of regrets. Karen stood there, frozen, clutching the folder as if it might suddenly disappear and erase the humiliation dripping down her face. Her dog squirmed in her arms, clearly sensing the tension, but she didn't even notice. Her eyes were locked on my dad, and I could almost see her brain trying to rearrange everything she thought she knew. You own it? She asked again, her voice suddenly soft, like she was speaking to royalty and not the same man she was screaming at moments ago. Dad didn't answer immediately. He simply looked at her with the same calm expression he always had, the kind that never gave too much away. I do, he said at last. Every property on this street, including the one you're renting. Karen flinched. There it was, the knife twist, that final realization. This wasn't just about being embarrassed. This was about consequences, real, legal, life-altering consequences. Her entire persona crumbled in real time. Her shoulders slumped. Her sunglasses slid down her nose, and for a moment, she didn't look like the entitled, loudmouthed suburban queen she had painted herself to be. She looked small, panicked, lost. I didn't know, she stammered. Nobody told me who you were. I mean, how would I know? You're never at the meetings, and you don't even dress like. She stopped herself, realizing she was digging the hole even deeper. Dad didn't react. He didn't need to. That silence was louder than anything he could have said. I just thought you were someone, visiting, she said, still trying to backpedal. I thought you were taking advantage of the spot, that's all. I didn't mean anything personal. That might have been true, but that was the problem. Karen never thought anything was personal until it happened to her. My dad finally looked at her, the weight of years behind his eyes. You judged me, he said plainly, not because of anything I did, but because I was in a wheelchair, because I didn't look like someone who mattered to you. Karen's mouth opened to protest, but nothing came out. Her lip trembled. She was cornered, and she knew it. Dad didn't shout. He didn't throw insults. He just let the truth hang in the air like smoke. I built this neighborhood, he continued. I laid the plans, oversaw the contractors, and personally selected the first 20 families who moved in. I chose to keep a low profile because I didn't want people to treat me differently. I didn't want them to fear me or flatter me. I just wanted a peaceful community where people respected each other. He paused, but today, I was reminded why I sometimes regret that decision. Karen's eyes welled up. Whether it was guilt or fear or both, I couldn't tell. Probably both. Please, she whispered. Don't do anything drastic. I've lived here for 5 years. I keep my place nice. I follow the rules. You enforce the rules. Dad corrected her, but only when it's convenient. I watched you scream at a disabled man like he was garbage. What rule allows that? Asterisk. She looked down, red creeping up her cheeks. I was stressed. I had a bad morning. My dog was sick. It won't happen again. I swear. Dad shook his head. It already happened. And what worries me is that if I didn't own this street, you wouldn't feel sorry. You'd feel justified. Karen looked at me, as if hoping I'd jump in and defend her. I didn't. My father's been kind to this community. I said. He's donated to the school district, paid for half the park renovation, covers roof repairs for tenants who can't afford them. And you still saw him as disposable the second he became an inconvenience. She started to cry, real, ugly sobs, the kind that sounded like they were coming from deep inside her. Maybe it was regret. Maybe it was the sudden horror of realizing just how quickly things could unravel. "Please," she said again, wiping at her face. "Please don't evict me. My husband doesn't know about this. We just renewed the lease. I didn't mean anything by it." Dad looked down at his hands. He was quiet for a long moment. "I can't undo what you said," he murmured, "but I can make sure this neighborhood doesn't tolerate cruelty. I won't be angry, but I will be fair." She nodded furiously. "Yes, yes, please. Fair is all I ask." "Then you'll receive notice in the mail," he said gently. 60 days to vacate. Per your lease agreement. I won't rush it, but you'll need to find another place to live." It hit her like a punch to the gut. Her knees nearly buckled. She reached out like she might grab his chair, but thought better of it. "Is there anything I can do?" she whispered. "Anything at all." Dad gave her a long, measured look. "You can start by treating people better, especially the ones you think don't matter, because the world has a way of showing you exactly how wrong you are." That was it. No shouting, no legal threats, just a decision made with quiet strength. The next day, her SUV was gone from the driveway. By the following week, a realtor's sign appeared in front of the house. Karen barely made eye contact with anyone anymore. She avoided morning walks, stopped gossiping with the other ladies of the neighborhood, and kept her blinds closed. Tight. By the time she moved out, no one really came to say goodbye. No one brought cookies or hugged her in the driveway. Just a silent, awkward end. A fading of a presence no one really missed. But here's the twist that made it unforgettable. My dad didn't keep the house. He didn't sell it to just anyone. He donated the lease to a local veteran and amputee who had been on the waiting list for accessible housing for over a year. The day the new tenant moved in, Dad wheeled over and handed him the keys personally. They talked for a long time. No cameras, no speeches. Just two men who understood what it meant to be seen as less, finally giving each other the respect they deserved. Karen had screamed at my dad because she thought he had no power, no voice, no worth. But the truth was, he didn't just own the street. He *owned* the moment.